play in the NHL, to win the Stanley Cup, but also to play for the red and white of Canada. At the World Juniors, at the World Championship, sure, they've made millions. Many have won the Stanley Cup, some multiple. Most have families, but tonight, they're all that same boy, ready to live.
Percolating, the Czech fans are ready to go.
So it's Tomas Hertl along with Marty Necas, David Pastrnak up against Sidney Crosby. Mark Stone, who was almost turned it over there, and it does end up on the stick of Kemp. Here's Kemp over the line. And a chance for Kempney, and Binnington's got that. Go to work deeper in the zone. Reinhardt's out there as well. McDavid's got the puck downhill to the net and snapped that shot.
That's off.
Not sure the net came off, and yes, they are going to have to stop play.
That's a good break for Czechia. Dostal came flying across to get his shoulders up against the post. Has been
by McKinnon. Now comes across to the captain. Sidney Crosby down low. Give it go. Glove stop. Dostal. 97-87. That would have been pretty.
Dostal, get used to saying his name. He's going to be busy here. Another good keep by Nathan
by Binnington. Rink wide it goes. Here's McKinnon working his way in. Drops Suzuki with the shot, and Dostal will cover up. Out there as to the attack goes Necas. Hronek sends it over. A touch pass for Hertl. Spins, and a redirect bounced off a defender, and Binnington had to be sharp on that. Goal of the game that Nathan McKinnon thought he had. Shea Theodore sends it around. Engel gets there first. Bumps that to Suzuki. McKinnon will chop it back to his teammate Taves. That bounce just wide.
Right in front of the net for Dostal. And I think the clear message for Team Canada is
great pass. Here's a chance. Horvat just missed. Theodore sends it back behind the net. Centered. Marchand. And he was unable to finish. Comes back to Makar. Hooked that back into the corner. Horvat after it there. Now it comes out for Pastrnak. Marty Necas on the move. Sweeping in and off the stick of Binnington. Michael Kempney gets it back at the line. Shooting. Rebound in front. Binnington down and covers.
David Kemp had a wide open net if his stick was 1 inch longer. He rolls over to the weak side on the Kempney shot. He's not really tied up by McKinnon.
Looking for the stick of Stransky. McDavid chasing after it. Knocked away. McDavid on it. Pass behind Wilson. Here's a Makar shot. Scores! Cale Makar with 5.7 remaining in the period.
I think Celebrini got a piece. The youngster on the tip.
How about that? 19 years of age. And
there's no doubt he touches it.
Dostal called immediately. A better look at it here. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, it might take a minute to get to.
Here's Celebrini. Got it to McDavid. His shot and went off the stick of Dostal up onto the mask.
Crosby's angle sort of gets lost. And the path.
Necas threw it into the corner looking for Pastrnak. Back to Kempney at the line. He's got Gudas here. Put the shot right on goal. Rebound. And Binnington again.
David Pastrnak so dangerous out here. And then it gets all turned around with their coverage. Doughty, Harley, and Mark Stone. And you do not want to have Tomas Hertl standing all alone.
Had it knocked off his stick. Fired back in by Parayko. And Theodore and Parayko together here in the second. Centering pass. Celebrini. Stopped by Dostal. Tough stop there.
One. And it always starts with getting the puck to Connor McDavid in some capacity in the offensive zone. And a little backhand shovel puck. And the quick release of Celebrini. Oh,
worked back into his own zone to reset. Off Marner to Crosby. Tried to get it back to Marner and just broken up by Ruda. Marner down to the net. Scooping in front, scores! Stone from Marner, and it's 2-0.
the blue line. As Ruta dives across, he gets the first turnover, but then all the forwards react as though the puck's going to get turned over, and wow, on the backhand to shovel it through the sprawling spot check right over top and dropping it onto Stone's stick for the empty netter. That is beautiful.
And they do get back, and it's played out. Back the other way. It's McDavid and Hagel. McDavid! Oh, Dostal!
Oh, he got him
Did
both!
you see that?
They turn it over. McDavid goes early to Hagel. Hagel's right back. And Connor McDavid just doesn't elevate it. He goes on the ground. He's got to go up under the bar. But the second one, even maybe better by Dostal to stay with the puck.
To test drive a couple of goaltenders, back-to-back games, Switzerland tomorrow. Here's Hagel to the net, and Dostal. The rebound, and the backhand by Suzuki. Doesn't get to the net. Reinhardt failed to click. Back the other way, it's rolled in by Natchez. Marchand. Nice pass. Horvat's in. Oh, Horvat scores!
What a slick pass this is for Brad Marchand. Rona gets caught wide, thinking Marchand's going to go up the boards, and Horvat explodes down the middle. And the cheekiest of 5-hole finishes.
One shot for McKinnon so far, and the one shot that was taken back on what appeared to be the first goal of the game. Chance here, Harley, and it's off the glove of Dostal. Looks like Natchez with Camp and Kubalik as Czechia looks for offense and spreads it out a little. Here's McKinnon. What a burst. He's in. Backhand. Stopped by Dostal. Sends it around, and here's Parayko. Tried to drop it off, but that intercepted. And here comes Palat. Andre Palat, the shot.
First, it's Hurdle on his wrist, so you can see Binnington just get a piece to knock that one over the net. Heavy shot and a really good save.
Power play for Team Canada. Second of the game. 0 for 1. McDavid across, scores. That was easy and lethal. And Nathan McKinnon has the power play goal.
They focus in the middle, and Connor McDavid drops it on a tee for Nathan McKinnon. So Gudas is playing the scene. But McDavid, as he takes that slight step towards the net, he draws Radko Gudas to his side of Dostal, and that little subtle move and the pass.
Knocked down at the side of the net. Harley going to go at him, and Foxa answers back. Separate at the last minute with play back in the Czechia zone. And here's Makar to the net, and Dostal with a nice stop there. Cycles it back. Granick in deep. At the point, spot check. Spot check, sidestep Marchand, and put that right on. Past Hagel to the near side. Doughty will venture in. In behind the net, Suzuki. Here's McDavid off the bench. In low. There's score! Off Suzuki. On the feed by McDavid. It's 5-0.
Is that the accidental tip by Nick Suzuki? He gets one off a line change. McDavid comes flying off the bench. Harley just drops it off to him. Good idea. And I don't think Nick Suzuki was trying to tip this one. I think Dostal read it correctly. He was going to pull it. And it just jammed him up a little bit off the top of the blade and over top of Dostal. He'll take it.
Maybe another chance here. McKinnon, and he wired that stick side wide. Unable to knock it down. It comes to Suzuki front, and it's Dostal robbing Brandon Hagel of the Team Canada players, including Jordan Binnington, and he has registered his first Olympic shutout.
Who should be on this team? Who should play goal? Who should play with who? And I suppose there's still plenty of time for second guessing if things go south.
thus far at Milano Cortina 2026. Big crowd expected inside Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena. Canada, well, 3 points atop Group A. Switzerland also on 3 points. Canada with the 1-0 record after the 5-0 win over Czechia. Switzerland with a 4-0 win over France. Two teams that have had some good battles over the last decade or so at IIHF World Championship level. Going to renew hostilities in this one. Good looking suits there. And lost 2. And in the last 10 between the IIHF and Olympics, last 10 between these two teams internationally, Canada are 5-5 against Switzerland. So it hasn't been easy over the last 10 games or so for either team to get some separation. And both these teams can play physical. Both these teams, a lot of the guys know each other from the National Hockey League. So expect a tense and fast affair. This is the standings thus far in Group A. Canada on goal differential, the 3 points. Switzerland, 3 points. Both teams, like I said, have yet to concede a goal there. That's magnificent. Czechia with a win on 3 points. France fall to 0-2, looking to open their account and get their first points of Milano Cortina 2026. Canada wearing the red jerseys this evening. They had the big 5-0 win over Czechia. 3 assists for Connor McDavid in that one. Sidney Crosby with a pair of helpers. And Macklin celebrated the 19-year-old with his first ever Olympic goal for Canada. It was a shutout win for Jordan Binnington as we look into the eyes of Connor McDavid. 3 assists in the opener against Czechia. And he was dancing. I mean, he and Nathan McKinnon in your shot as well. 2 of the fastest players on planet Earth. And speed kills, as they say, and Czechia certainly found it hard to stay with Canada in the opener. Logan Thompson of the Washington Capitals set to get the start. He's got 2 shutouts this season, 2.45 goals against average. Former Stanley Cup champion with Vegas, backed up by Darcy Kemper. Celebrating McDavid and Tom Wilson will stay together as they did against Czechia. McKinnon, Hagel, and Suzuki the same there. Crosby, Marner, and Stone. The
and Cam Spaulding, Francis Jobin, Eli Bouchard, and Mark McMorris, who's won all 3 of his Olympic bronze medals in this event. All right, a short break. We're going to get you back to men's figure skating when we return. Third group of the men's free skate still to come. Kurt Browning, Brenda Irving, and Carol Lane with the call. You're watching the 25th Olympic Winter Games, Milano Cortina 2026 on TSN.
Do the back cat. Yeah, yeah. Do the back cat. Put your hands on your hip, let your backbone flip.
Olympic Stadium. And both Rowe Ice Hockey Arena, Milano, Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena have been world-class venues. Well, there's an example of what I was talking about. I mean, the fans have come out in droves in this wonderful facility. And that's the prized possessions, that everyone wants a picture with the Olympic rings. Sidney Crosby and Drew Doughty, two-time Olympic gold medalists from 2010 and 2014, part of that big leadership group. For the Canadians, but the Swiss, well, they have Nino Niederreiter and some of those NHL players like Nico Hischier that bring lots of IIHF experience as well. Both teams 1-0 heading into this Group A encounter. Logan Thompson, IIH silver in 2022. And we saw Ricardo Schmid on the golf cart earlier. He's made his arrival rinkside. IIHF silver medal for him in 2024. It's ice hockey, it's your vibe. It certainly is, folks. Switzerland and Canada. Canada 1-0, 3 points in Group A. And listen to the roar of the crowd.
Canada looks to clinch Group A tonight in a matchup of the opening day shutout winners as they face back-to-back world champion silver medalist Switzerland, led by that man, Patrick Fisher, and of course, Roman Josi.
It's going to be a lot different game than Canada-Czechia. It's going to be Canada-Swiss. Swiss, one of the most underrated nations in the world for hockey. Got a lot of appreciation for them in 2018 in the Spengler Cup. Cassie, I know you've been there before.
But it is Akira Schmid tonight in a backup role to face the high-powered Team Canada offense, Mike.
Four IIHF silver medals.
Dear James, there's nothing you love
Dear Lori, enjoy the journey. On the mountain,
There's Calvin Turcoff, who started the first game on the top line with Hischer and Fiala. Moves on to a line with Philip Kurashev and Hugh Suter. Here's Tom Wilson, and Connor McDavid fires it in, and there's a glove stop that should help settle down Akira Schmid.
Best seat in the house once again. This game is going to be lightning quick. Back and forth they go. I'm curious to see. Switzerland tries to get Pia Suter, a very good defensive forward, out against Connor McDavid as much as possible. We heard the panel talk about how great Connor McDavid was in game one. The entire game, the shots, the assists. And you know Switzerland's going to try to game plan for him, which might involve a lot of Pia Suter.
That face-off won by Team Canada, but the puck comes out to center ice. Gil Makar out there. Bo Horvat. Sam Bennett is on the wing. That glove down and played in behind the net by Sam Reinhart. Taves moves up. They'll crash along the boards. Four-man board battle pulled away by Horvat, who scored a beauty in the opener. They listed Bennett as the extra forward here, but he's out on this line, and yet to see Seth Jarvis make his Olympic debut. J.J. Moser ahead. That off a stick and chopped away by Makar. Here's Marner sending it back in. Roman Josi on it. Sidney Crosby was taken down.
It was a big-time hold-up by Liat.
Berchi sends it around. Josi up the boards, kept in momentarily by Crosby. And now coming back to play it is Parayko. Colton Parayko with a different partner. Shea Theodore moves into Josh Morrissey's spot. Fiala plays it back. Jonas Sigenthaler bounces that to center. And here come the Swiss as Meyer goes to the attack and tried to go back door for Fiala. Here's Meyer again, and he sent that wide. At the line, kept in, and that shot blocked it. It'll be played back out to center. Here's McKinnon trying to get after it. Nathan McKinnon deep in the Swiss zone centers, and unable to get the shot away is Hagel. Fiala up ahead. Sigenthaler sends it around to the near side. Niederreiter waiting for it, but that was cut off by Taves. There's Devon Taves. McDavid across on the right side. Celebrity opened the scoring in the late stages of the first period last night. Tom Wilson, and Taves a shot that goes wide. Makar moves up. Knocked into the corner for McDavid. Makar fires that, and it ricochets into the corner. Morgan can't clear McDavid from the corner. Here's Connor McDavid. Watched by Morgan. Walks out in front. And checked at the last second as Moser sends it away. Makar for Celebrity. Offside called. Just past 4.5 minutes in.
Take a breath. You can see how fast it a couple times in the tournament. It's been all around the front of the net to begin.
Theodore sends it in. Schmidt will play it away from the onrushing Seth Jarvis. Team Canada in the absence of Braden Point, and again Anthony Cirelli, both named to this team, but unfortunately unable to compete here. So Jarvis out right now with Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart. Back pressure here on Kurashev. Tried to shoot it in. That was knocked down. Dean Kukon, former Columbus Blue Jacket, moves up. Kirchhoff along the boards, back to Kukon. And he banned on that. He could be in trouble. Ties up Bennett. First penalty coming up. And it's going against the Swiss defenseman.
Swiss bench doesn't like it at all. Sam Bennett and Kukon get into a stick battle for a puck right on the blue line. Bennett blocks the first one. And Kukon puts his stick in between the legs of Sam Bennett. And as you're crossing over, you got to go down, nowhere to go. So the power play goes to work. They struck late against Czechia. Nathan McKinnon on the back door from Connor McDavid.
1 for 2 in the opening game. Swiss able to kill 4 consecutive power plays for France. Crosby on the draw, wins it back, so they'll get it set up. Makar to McKinnon, back to Makar. McDavid's on the right flank, and it's a McKinnon shot kicked away. Puck played to the line, but kept alive by Reinhart. Reinhart goes to the bumper spot, rink wide, McDavid scores! Play goal, Connor McDavid. Canada strikes first.
Pick it up right where he left off. Game 1. Shooting mentality. Had so many attempts in game 1 against Czechia. And this one, when Nathan McKinnon throws it over to him, he might be thinking Crosby back door, but elects to take it one handle and then catch Schmid, who reached initially with his glove to make a glove save. And then as he's trying to find the post, he goes, bounces off his hip and in. And it's not great movement from Akira Schmid. And Connor McDavid's got Canada off and running on the power play.
McDavid set up McKinnon's first Olympic goal. McKinnon returns the favor. That's a great cross-ice pass by McKinnon to set up the opener here for Team Canada. Mark Stone's got it, tried to slide it through for Crosby. That was intercepted, and out comes the Swiss. Here's Fiala challenging Travis Sanheim on the ice. A shot from the point, changed direction, and went wide off the stick of Christian Marty. Marty back at the line. Fiala lost the puck, turns it over. Sidney Crosby in. Crosby, and what a stop! Is that the Scorpion save for Schmid?
That looks Scorpion-like to me, CC. What a save!
So both good goaltenders have made early, spectacular stops. Feels like it could be quite a night. Here's Celebrini in. McDavid back on the ice. That one swung along by Glauser, out to center. Knocked back to the Swiss line by Taves. There's Sven Indragetto. Indragetto playing with Mulgan. They are a tandem that plays often and usually shines at the international level. And that pass puts the play offside.
Order on the McD's app to earn points and get a $0 delivery fee. An 11% service fee and $2 small order fee still apply.
She scoops. She scores!
Nordica. My protein play every day.
Sidney Crosby has learned in his Olympic experience, yes, you can have some tough outings early on in a tournament, but you've got to come in at a certain level that's high enough that you can build upon, because the level is only going to continue to go up for everybody the deeper the tournament goes on. They set a pretty high bar for themselves against Czechia yesterday, already a 1-goal lead, and if not for that scorpion save from Schmid, it could have been 2-0 off the stick of the Canada captain, Chris.
Spectacular stuff to keep Sid off the board.
Sid went right to the iPad, was shaking his head the entire break, watching that one back. Can't believe Schmid found a way to get a piece of that backhand.
5-1 the shots early as that one fired in by Klauser. Theodore to Pareko up the boards, kept in, and now a lead feed for McKinnon. Looks rink wide, sliding down the ice, and that's an icing call from the Team Canada side of center.
Patrick Fisher's got his team in a very good spot internationally. They've been one of the best teams the last half-decade at the World Championship. You mentioned so many of the familiar names, even the ones who are not NHLers. They get virtually this entire team to play every World Championship together. Everyone who's not in the playoffs goes to play for Switzerland year after year, so there's great chemistry and continuity for the Swiss.
Dropped unfairly, they'll do it again. Patrick Fisher played a very short period of time with the Phoenix Coyotes. Among his teammates, Shane Doan, Owen Nolan, Ed Jovanovski, Jeremy Roenick, and the coach of that team, Wayne Gretzky.
He got there the year after I left. We just missed crossing paths.
That was a tough guy to replace. Here's a chance for Yossi, and Meyer looked for the rebound. Lost by Theodore, centered by Meyer, and Theodore there to come up with it once again. The former Fraser Valley Bruin sends it ahead to the Swiss line. And now back on a counter is Fiala. Cross ice pass knocked down by Suzuki. 8 minutes gone. As it's sent ahead to McKinnon. Down that left side, tried to get it to Bennett. A collision there, and the Swiss strike back. Bennett back to help out. Now Drew Doughty's got it. Doughty with Thomas Harley, who led the blue line with over 20 minutes of action. 20-35 in the opening game. Niederreiter can't get it past Horvat. Car at the line, it does stay in. Team Canada backs off on a change. Michael Fora idles. Now the puck played ahead. That was scooped from around the red line. They gave him that one in the area. No icing, and here's Marner turning out with Crosby on his left. Marner hits the line, gets it to the captain, who gets it back, and that was blocked by Siegenthaler with Stone loose in front of the net. Flip back in, and around it goes back to the line, where Kukan sends it around. Siegenthaler up, it bounced out in front, and here's Hugh Suter, and that puck off Turkov and out.
Switzerland trying to find their game, get a little bit more possession. Canada's being very physical whenever they can get a hit on the defensive leg to join the rush. You know, Roman Yossi's going to be all over the offensive zone like he is with Nashville. He's got full green light to roam as he wishes.
MVP of the World Championship back in 2013. One of the 4 silvers this team's won of late. Meyer tried to get it to the net. Swiss player goes down. You hear the crowd react as Heischer hit the deck, and here comes Brandon Hagel with back pressure by Fiala. Hagel gets it loose. McKinnon tries to center. Parayko. Nathan McKinnon in front. And Schmidt with a big stop. Off Nick Suzuki. Suzuki's got it again. Puts it to the net. Bump back off the blocker. Parayko can't handle the pass. McKinnon around to the far side. That's Suzuki covering the point. Across for Shea Theodore. Parayko swings it around. McKinnon lost possession of it. At the line, it does come out. So a delayed offside as McKinnon heads to the bench. Tom Wilson storms in. 8 hits in the opener for Wilson. That doesn't include the one that the team thought he'd registered early on. The Richter scale bumped by Connor McDavid, who's off and running here with Wilson on the right side. Back to McDavid. Calling for it is Harley. Scores! Led the team in time on ice last night and puts them ahead 2-0 here tonight.
The breakout and the pace up the ice from everybody on Canada causing problems. Harley, see the 2 Swiss back checkers behind him. What a nice touch by Tom Wilson to get the puck to who? Who else? Connor McDavid, who then throws one over softly for Harley to skate into, settles it, and puts it right through Schmid. For Canada's second goal of the game, another point for Connor McDavid, and a 2-0 lead for Canada.
So that's 1 goal, 4 assists for McDavid.
Nice stick right off the face-off. With Bo Horvat on Pia Suter. And
they'll check for damages.
They're hoping it's a 4.
5 points, 4 periods for number 97.
Suter's going to go show the damage to Ribbick. The ref, Dan O'Rourke, saying, I don't want to see it.
And Ribbick checking it out. We'll find out if it's 2 or more, but it is 2-0. Team Canada.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
You move with ease, you catch the breeze. You're in the groove, every step is feeling right. You are going out tonight. Look at you, you're shining through. Feel the light, it's all on you. Hold the night and make it move. Take the stage is what you do.
For high sticking.
It's been a fast-paced start for Canada. Get the early power play, and Connor McDavid gets his first ever Olympic goal on a nice feed from Nathan McKinnon. And then a little bit later on, it's McDavid over to Harley to make it 2-0. And off the ensuing faceoff, Bo Horvat gets Pia Suter with a stick across the face. And Switzerland was not happy because they spent the entire break trying to argue that that should be a 4-minute.
Moving around as Mark Stone coming on. Stone finds room and sends it the length of the ice. Penalty killing tandem of Marner and Stone out there now. Here's Fiala. Leader rider through. Fiala hit along the boards by Pareko. Comes back to Yossi. But Meyer might have had some room there to come out. It's Roman Yossi firing it, and that hit a body and is fired down the ice off Mark Stone's partial shot block.
He comes to the bench with a smile after taking that one in the ankle. He is old school.
I hope somebody gives him a high five. Riyad out on the ice now. He scored in the first game against France. Kukan and Rigetto in front of the net. And Kurashev unable to get that back door. And Rigetto again. Had a 4-goal game in the World Championship a couple of years ago against Germany. That one off the post scores. Power play goal, and the Swiss are on the board. So Pius Suter strikes on the power play.
He draws it by taking the stick up high on a face-off, and then he's there to clean up the mess as Andrighetto fires one in that Logan Thompson can't contain. And it goes off the cuff, and then the bar, and then Suter right there to get it as it falls to the ice to sweep it home. Huge goal for Switzerland, who haven't really been in this first period, but it's just now a 1-goal deficit.
Pius Suter was on the 2018 Olympic team for Switzerland, scored 3 goals in that tournament. Former member of the Guelph Storm gets Switzerland on the board.
David again got Glauser, who steamrolled him.
Glauser's got that reputation. Over on that far side, it's sent around behind the net. Travis Sanheim. Up ahead, Wilson. And that's cut off. Here comes Fiala in. Fiala and Thompson. That's a big stop after the Swiss had just scored.
Turnovers in the middle against Kevin Fiala are tough as Glauser is feeling the effects of Connor McDavid's collision.
Wow.
The puck's right there.
It's usually the other way around.
Right through the body. That's an NHL hit. You could argue interference, but that's the only thing you could argue.
So that's 2 for the highlight reel in 2 games for Connor McDavid.
That might be 2 more than I can remember of him with the Oilers.
Hagel up ahead. McKinnon trying to catch up to that. Knocked away by Marty. Schmidt out of the net. Again, a terrific atmosphere. This is the 3rd consecutive full house of the day. And the atmosphere's been spectacular all day long, starting with Finland and Sweden. And a memorable, at least second period, between France and Czechia. And those Czech fans had lots to cheer about.
John Cooper is usually pretty cool behind the bench, but demonstrative in this one. You can tell he's pretty engaged. Disappointed to give up the 2-0 lead when everything was going right for Canada. The power plays allowed Switzerland back in the game, and also for Switzerland to maybe just settle down a little bit.
Yes, Canada, it is possible to give up a goal at the Olympics. That ends a shutout streak of 237 minutes and 1 second. The last goal scored against Canada was in the quarterfinal of Sochi in 2014 against Latvia. Makar with a drive, and that's vacuumed up by Schmid. They shut out Sweden, the United States first, and then Sweden, and then last night against Czechia. And finally, that shutout streak has been broken by Pius Suter.
So the game's changed a lot in 12 years, though. It'd be hard to be just a defensive juggernaut in today's game.
Crosby wins it cleanly. Fired across. Marner too hot for him to handle. And Draghetto, need a rider. And it's deep into Team Canada ice. Lost there. Thompson has to get on that quickly as Devon Taves fumbled the puck. And Suter almost had another. So the Swiss on the board and starting to push back.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place.
For 20 years, Intact Insurance has stood behind Speed Skating Canada. This is what that sounds like.
And we're just getting started.
Intact Insurance, proud partner of Team Canada.
And right off the start, I mean, this is remarkable strength and unity from the Canadians.
Oh, what a breakout from this Canadian pair. Incredible teamwork.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
Well, Mike was talking about how similar of a Swiss team they bring to the World Championships each and every year. Kevin Fiala was saying recently, we all know each other and we love each other. It's really like a family. Fiala, 7 times he's represented his country at the World Championships. First time in an Olympic Games for him. Short drive to Milan from Switzerland. A loud building in here in the Santa Giulia. They've got the support like it's a home game just down the road here in Italy, Chris.
It is tough to distinguish between the red jerseys of Switzerland and the red sweaters of Team Canada.
Not hard to distinguish between the sound, though, down here, Chris. It is very much a vocal pro-Switzerland crowd. $15,000 or 10,000 Swiss fans, but they all seem to know what songs to sing at the right time in unison.
Suter McKinnon on the face-off. Swept around and out to center off Hagel's stick. And as you mentioned before, Mike, it's a different environment here. We go down after the games, and in the concourse, all the Swiss fans or fans of the team that had just played are there with their players. You see Brad Marchand, Josh Morrissey, Darcy Kemper looking on.
Jordan Bennington actually up there. Darcy Kemper's beside me.
Excuse me, Bennington. Darcy Kemper sitting beside you, yes. And that'll be covered by Thompson.
Logan Thompson probably won't love the one that got past him, but generally speaking, Switzerland has generated some good chances. And Logan Thompson has been sharp in his first ever Olympic appearance. Bennington, of course, was brilliant against Czechia, especially early. And I still haven't seen him blink.
Yeah, see, got the stare down. Yossi up high, swings it into the corner. Harley takes his man to the boards. McKinnon in to help battle for the puck, kicked loose. Oh, and that hopped over the stick in a pretty good position for J.J. Moser. Celebrini broken up, and here comes Draghetto. Former Montreal Canadian, Colorado Avalanche. Shot ricocheted high. Drew Doughty. Tom Wilson. Harley takes a look, and now Doughty will advance. Off the stick of Wilson, and McDavid charges in for Wilson, side of the net. And Schmidt hugged the short side. Hit McDavid before he cleared the zone. Offside call.
Connor McDavid has got the turbo boosters on once again. As you see the vision getting over to Harley. A great rotation. Head up the whole way, and Schmid opens up the legs, and through the 5-hole it goes. This one, almost a bit of a no-looker. He's got all the tricks of the trade, of course, The offensive juggernaut. When he wants to be against the best in the world, he wants to be the best in the world.
Leaving not much for debate. Down went Wilson in that puck battle. Scooped in by Kukon. McDavid reverses it. There was a big hit by Meyer.
He got a piece of McDavid there. Clean hit on the reverse.
At the line, held in, and a big hit on Reinhardt.
Meyer
Timo
again.
Meyer.
2 in a shift.
Celebrini, Reinhardt, Makar, and Bennett. Backhand stopped. And picked up by the New Jersey captain and captain of the Swiss team, Nico Hischier. Now Berchi sends it in. Back is Harley. And the Swiss starting to hit.
They have the pace to get to the puck quickly. You're not going to have much time when they dump it in before they get on top of you.
Fourth line out right now. Here is Jaeger over the line. Jaeger sends it wide. Around for Michael Forum. Swings that off target. Around for Yossi. Jaeger battling for the puck. Sandro Schmid is there. And the puck loose for Makar. Bennett ahead. Unable to make a connection with Seth Jarvis. We've got play called. Do we have too many men?
That's an icing.
Icing?
Roman Yossi did not get the red line. Meyer returning the favor as he catches Connor McDavid in a rare moment of watching the puck. Referee right there not going to make the call, and then he turns around. Timo Meyer is a thick hockey player. Every bit 215 or so. With a bit of a mean streak as well.
So the Swiss have settled into this a bit after a big Team Canada start. A 2-1 Canadian lead on goals by McDavid on the power play and Thomas Harley on a McDavid setup. And a response from Hugh Suter. Whoa, Mitch Marner just tried to
put Sandro Schmid in the bench.
A Swiss player into the bench. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. Everybody's in on the act. Behind the net, they're trying to get it to Marner. Stone, Marner. Now Colton Parayko. Back around, Crosby. Great pivot in front. Back door off the side of the net. And Crosby again. That may have glanced off Andrighetto and went wide. A couple close calls. That's a high stick that Marner can't play. And it's whistled down with 1:59 to go. And a close call there.
Kira Schmid was, I think, facing the back boards when Sidney Crosby was taking that last shot. Watch play by Crosby here behind the net. Quick pivot, protected, trying to find Mark Stone on the back door. But look at Schmid. He's looking the wrong way. As Crosby drops Moser. Good check by Pia Suter, tying up Mark Stone. And Sidney Crosby just could not catch that puck cleanly. Look out.
McKinnon pulls that back into the Swiss bench.
Into the crowd, he won that one so clean.
Nathan McKinnon just 14:44 in the first game, and he talked about having to adjust to, well, not the same ice time you're going to get in the regular season NHL games. Makar at the line, stole it, plays it back in. Eagle on the hunt. Gets a hit in on the play, and now out comes Siegenthaler. Dropping it off. Kurashev fired that wide, moving up his forehand, trying to get it to the net. Devon Taves, excuse me. Suzuki couldn't come up with it, and it's played back. And it's a glove stop by Thompson with traffic in front.
Canada has to understand that Switzerland is not going to leave the offensive blue line. So when you're making plays You think you can just chip it or make a little bump play to get over the blue line? Swiss will not back up. They'll hang in there. And the turnover was the most recent opportunity by four a couple times, keeping the puck in and getting it down to the net.
Mike, a significant absence for the Swiss. Dennis Mulligan, who centers their second line, is off the Switzerland bench.
And you know what, the cumulative effect, not just missing Mulligan, but he's so good with Andrighetto together. They can anchor a line as a duo and be dangerous.
When I asked Roman Josi, who are the clutch guys for Switzerland that we don't know about, that don't play in the NHL, and he immediately said, well, you know them. The guys that don't play in the NHL that really play the best for Switzerland are Mulligan and Andrighetto. That was Tom Wilson trying to line up a Richter scale hit, and that's an icing call against the Swiss.
See Nico Hischier, such a well-respected player. 27, feels like he's younger, although he's been around for a long time. And he is the disciplined, serious, sturdy leader of Switzerland. Roman Josi is the most explosive. He's the most steady.
Final minute, Team Canada scored in the final minute. Last night against the Czechs on that deft tip by Macklin Celebrini.
The McKinnon out here.
And here is McKinnon taking the handoff from Celebrini. At the line, Harley, and that goes off Schmidt to the corner. Trying to get it back is Celebrini. Off the boards to the line, and it bounced over the stick to Parayko. One last push here for Team Canada. Celebrini unable to hook that towards McDavid. Back the other way, it's Fiala at the line, and Harley slowed him up. Parayko missed it. Meyer with a wraparound try. Now it'll come to Siegenthaler off the skate to Meyer. Played back in by Moser. Kevin Fiala chased to the line by Parayko. McKinnon spins around Niederreiter. Does McDavid have time? As it winds down, he'll just steer it in, take one last bump from Fiala, and one done here on a Friday night. And once again, Connor McDavid putting his imprint on the game with a goal and an assist. Hugh Suter with the answer for the Swiss. Shots 13-10 Canada. James in the game coming up in our first intermission.
Decisions come in two flavors, smart and the kind you pretend you never made. Introducing investing with GoSmart. Smart. Introducing your girlfriend's dad to your hidden talent. Not smart. Opening your GoSmart account to start trading in minutes. Smart. Making it rain with $10. Not smart. Commission-free trading. Smart. Getting a tattoo without checking the spelling. Oof, not smart. Smart. Start investing in minutes with as little as $10 with GoSmart. New from RBC Direct Investing.
Welcome to your new home.
Mais il est trop chaud. He understands French.
Be careful around Fitz. Donnie's got a lot of demons that tend to appear when no one expects it.
St. Pierre on CBC and CBC Gem. On the Dragon's Den two-part special,
I think we've officially arrived.
the show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
Dragon's Den Full Circle, new episode February 26th.
Join host Ron McClain and Perdita Felician from Milano Cortina every morning. They've got you covered with the latest Olympic highlights, exclusive updates from Team Canada, and live coverage all morning long on Petro-Canada Olympic Winter Games morning.
On the Dragon's Den two-part special,
I think we've officially arrived.
the show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
Dragon's Den Full Circle, new episode February 26th.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Coca-Cola. It's Canada's moment. Drink it in.
Your best defense against erosion and cavities is strong enamel. Nothing beats it. Pro Enamel Active Shield actively strengthens the enamel to defend against erosion and cavities. I think that this product is a game changer for my patients. It really works.
Cheerios, when dreams come full circle.
All right, how's this for a plan? We put Mark at center. Alex and Connor gonna go up and down all game long, and we got Casey posted up in the office.
Wait. What about Leo?
What about Leo? He's not playing. Why? It was a game misconduct. He didn't make his bed. He's in a bit of a slump.
But with everyone scattered around the house, isn't that gonna slow down the game?
Not with their Wi-Fi.
Connect to Team Canada on Bell Pure Fiber.
Maybe I could. Yeah, I'll just ask.
Wondering about Ozempic? Ask your doctor and visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
Harley McDavid getting the goals for Canada. Suter getting one back for Switzerland. 2-1 is where things stand after the first 20 minutes of play. As we welcome you back to the show, Annie Petrillo. There is the panel. I know you guys are going to touch on this, but it's still crazy here. Tom Wilson, who ranks 34th in the league with 132 hits right now, is being outshone by Connor McDavid, who only has 25 hits so far this year, which puts him at 488th in the league, but big hits so far.
And do you know that Freaky Friday movie where there's a body switch? I think that might have happened with Wilson and McDavid, because that's unreal. But the rest of McDavid is still McDavid, as we found out on the power play. McKinnon, McDavid, I could watch that for the rest of my life on the power play. How did this one work?
Well, but first of all, what does our panel and Canada's first power play all have in common?
Is this a joke?
That you shouldn't be on it. 2 lefties.
I wouldn't have been on it.
2 lefties, Cheryl and James, and 3 righties.
We would have been on it?
And no, you wouldn't be on it. But the hands matter. Hands matter on the power play because of passing lanes, because of one-timers. And for that reason, there's usually a preferred side you want to attack. Reminder, game 1, Connor to Sid. 3 righties, one-timers, they score. Tonight, they take it away. So now it's Nate with the one-timer, and then Kale wants to go over now to Connor, but Switzerland's pre-scout takes that away. But luckily, Nate and Makar have won a Stanley Cup together, setting up the power play on this side. So they're very comfortable. Nate is very comfortable running it on his side, making that seam pass, and that's in the back of the net. Now, Connor, we've seen this theme. The hitting, the attack mode. That's the difference between international hockey and the NHL. However, this hit, if this was New Jersey and Edmonton, Timo Meier would not attempt that hit. The only reason he does that is because it's the Olympics. It was close to an interference, but he's doing that because of his country is cheering here, and it's the Olympics. By the way, most points in one Olympics by any male player, 11. McDavid has 5 in 4 periods.
Wow.
Cheryl, do you want to do a cute little riddle like Kevin
I was just going to say,
to get to Thomas Harley?
Don't. Okay, I'll leave it. I won't go downtown.
Talk about Harley.
You gotta take care of my girl.
So this guy's gone for a guy who, before 4 Nations, was going on a beach vacation, and now he's one of their most prominent defensemen.
Well, yeah, and it's about the exit, right? And it's that first pass. Kev knows that you get your offense from the back end in your own zone, but it goes to Connor McDavid through the middle of the ice. 3 guys are going to encroach on him. So what does he do? He puts it to a space, and then he tracks in behind it, draws everyone over, including the guy tracking back. And look at Macklin Celebrini driving the net. Kids out there, get a look without the puck. This is how you create the pocket. So the guy who started the original play with the first puck touch is going to get the last. And it's been coming in on that weak side, and it's a beautiful finish for a guy that played the most minutes last game Harley's able to finish it off. That's a you shot, isn't it, Kev?
Absolutely. 5-hole, goal scorers, goal.
I love you,
You know,
Pat.
you mentioned it a year ago that he was out. He was going on vacation, and then Shea Theodore got hurt. And James, you remembered this video because of the rules. He wasn't technically allowed to go on the ice. So the team is practicing in Montreal, and he is standing there watching it. And a year later, look at him. He's a stud on the blue line.
Awesome.
I'll be billing the CBC for the use of that video. Thank you very much. Shot on my iPhone. Sidney Crosby could have had maybe 3 in that first period, 1 on the breakaway. Of all the traits that continue to make him one of the best players in the world, what's number 1 in your mind?
Well, I mean, you got to go with competitiveness, and I got to say leadership. It's 1A, 1B, but you can see the competitiveness and the leadership in that first period alone. So he loses the first face-off, the opening face-off against Heischer, and then goes right back at him. Boom. I won this battle. Just send a little message. Love this little stick battle that he won on the power play for Canada, then gets himself open. That's competitiveness, is winning those little battles, and then your team gets a big goal. Takes a hit from Fiala. Take a number. Going to be physical here, turnover, and you know how bad he wanted this goal. Obviously, to finish this here behind the Swiss goaltender. He goes back. He's like, oh my gosh, you can read lips. But here's something about leadership, right? So there's Taves, a giveaway. That's your top pairing, Taves and McCarr. Watch Crosby. Hey, boys, are we doing okay back here? Everything okay? Do we want to talk about this play? We're going to be a little bit better next time. And that's just the amazing thing about his leadership, his competitiveness, and then, of course, his ability to communicate.
So good. I think we've seen it a lot before when a team like Canada with all this power gets up 2-0 on a somewhat lesser opponent, that team gets rattled and they kind of fold. Next thing you know, it's 4 or 5-0. But not this Swiss team, not just because of the style they play, but a lot of talent. Why are they dangerous still?
Well, Kevin spoke about it in the pregame and expect a different type of style from this team. And I love the aggressive nature of this group. And they're willing to quickly transition the puck. They catch Canada. They don't have an F3. And so what do? They take advantage of 3-on-1 early in this game. They could have been up in the period, but they find a way. And it's an aggressive nature. You'll find them chew on the puck in the offensive zone. But to me, it's how quickly they're transitioning. And what that says is I have a ton of confidence right now, and we have a belief within our room that we can compete here. And so when you put your opponent back on the heels, they take a penalty, they're opportunistic on the power play.
Pretty much the same situation as the Czechia game. Canada up by 1. The shots very even. We know that Canada took over that game in the second and third. We'll see if they can do the same. Andy?
Well, exactly. You go 20 years ago when Switzerland did beat Canada. Roman Josi was just 15 years old, and he said he remembers that. But, of course, Canada, a ton of firepower. We'll see how they look in the second.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Well, things got a little spicy between Canada and Sweden in curling. We'll bring you those highlights when we return. And the Canadian Steven Gogolev in figure skating. We'll show you how he did next.
The journey to glory begins with grit. They say greatness is a lonely road, but look closer. At Nulo, we stand with the silent teammates, the ones who never miss a send-off and are always there for the welcome home. They remind us to breathe, to rest, to carry on. Nulo fuels the pets who fuel their people, because behind every champion is a teammate who believed in them first. Nulo, fuel incredible.
I can't believe we got the show that we wanted.
Really good work today. I have a few notes.
Isn't HRT the cure?
I want to be one of those women who just skates through menopause with no symptoms.
I can see that you haven't been yourself. So if you want to talk about it, this isn't the place.
Just pay attention to how much this relationship just flourished.
You can hug my finger, there's less feelings in a finger.
Small achievable goals on CBC Gem.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Intact Insurance. We're right there with you, Team Canada. Intact Insurance, proud national partner of Team Canada.
Do the back cat. Woo! Yeah, yeah. Do the back cat. Keep it on now. I get by
leave the dream.
Markups at select retailers on Instacart. Fees and exclusions apply.
So, what's next for Kia Nerds?
What? All-star, analyst, and 3-time Olympian ain't enough for y'all? When you come from a family of athletes, you learn that to change the game.
You gotta rewrite the playbook.
Thanks, Dad. So, do you stick to more of the same? Or do you switch to a team that sees the bigger picture? So what's next? Well, the answer's in your hands. Gemini, where were we?
We were looking up bigger trophy cases. Want me to find a store nearby?
Let's take a look at the Google Pixel 10 multi-view. Women's hockey quarterfinal action between USA and Italy just started the second period. The Americans up 1-0. Men's free skate and figure skating, curling and Cortina. And we are bringing you men's hockey right now as well. Let's bring you an update brought to you by Wegovy. Okay, so in men's curling, it's Canada, Sweden. Canada entering this one a perfect 2-0. Sweden 0-2. Let's show you how things went down in the ninth end here as the two teams exchange some words.
Apparently it's okay touching the rock after the hog line. I don't know. Or touching the rock.
Who's doing it?
You don't know it?
Who?
It's a couple. It's a couple.
Who? I haven't done it once. You
haven't done it once?
I haven't done it once.
Okay. I'll show you a video after the game.
How about you walking around on my peel in the last day and dancing around the house here? How about that? Come on, Oscar, just... I don't give... Standing here, they didn't call it. Yeah, go. Go.
You thought hockey was feisty. Okay, so the Swedes were not happy with the Canadians. When they released the rock, they claimed they were still touching it. Either way, though, this one ends 8-6 in favor of the Canadians. They go to a perfect 3-0. Steven Gogolev, 10th after the short program and a strong start that he carried throughout his routine in the free. The only real trouble was a little bit on the triple loop. Other than that, a clean program scores him a season's best in the free overall. He would sit in first for a bit. Proud parents there. Currently sitting in second. And there, psych, he got us. Thought he was going to do a backflip. Ilya Malinin leading after the short. The American looking for his first Olympic gold in his debut.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
2-1 Canada after the first period over Switzerland. When we return, we'll drop the puck on the second with Chris Cuthbert and Mike Johnson.
When you invest with RBC, your idea of tomorrow isn't so far away. When it comes to reaching your goals, performance matters. Now, get up to $10,000 in value when you invest with RBC.
Dreams come full circle. Cherish the good.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players with our mouth-watering menu of popular and exclusive games.
I'll have the Mo Mummy. Oh, no, 7's Fire Blitz. Ooh, how hot is it? Nope, Mo Mummy.
At BetRivers, our slots are known to be exciting. It all adds up to a tasty buffet of spin-credible excitement. BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
You ready?
never thought there would be life after you. But there was. Do you happen to be hiring? No. What's your trauma? I can't get a job because I just got out of prison. You win.
What can I get you?
Do you guys need help?
How dare she just show up?
If it wasn't for her, our son would still be alive.
Sorry you lost him.
Every moment is a reminder that life is worth living.
Reminders of him.
New colors for the Olympics, new masks for the goalies. Here's a look at the masks for both Canadian goalies dressed tonight. Logan Thompson's on the left, Darcy Kemper's on the right. They had them designed by the same artist, Dave Freed of Swan River, Manitoba. He said both goalies wanted some flavor of their hometowns in the background scenes. Calgary for Thompson, Saskatoon for Kemper. Also a nice touch on Kemper's mask, the presence of the loon. Reminder and representation of where they are from, and it has led them here, the Winter Olympics for Canada, Chris.
That's good stuff. And while we're on the topic of Manitoba, the two additions, Travis Sanheim from Elkhorn and Seth Jarvis in the lineup from Winnipeg. We start the second period. Connor McDavid out. Here's McCarr. That one bounced off a stick. Excuse me, that's Crosby, not McDavid. I should know that. Was wondering if they were switching something up. And a loose puck from Marner. Had his pocket picked. Fiala away. Here comes Timo Meier. Heischer over the line. Trying to cut in against McCarr. Turns back, McCarr tracking him, broken up by Crosby. And it's Stone and Crosby redlining in. I wanted to make the point, though, for Connor McDavid, just over 5 minutes of the first period.
Not a lot. Seemed to do a lot in those 5 minutes, but it's just different when you're trying to rotate through all four lines. There's, power play on each side.
Towards the goal mouth. Siegenthaler will get it away to Pius Suter, who has the goal for the Swiss. Then Draghetto to Niederreiter. Penalty coming up on Canada. It'll be a tripping call. Second power play coming up for Switzerland as Theodore's off to the box.
Team Canada, player number 27, minor penalty for tripping.
Well, it just gets the stick into the feet, and Niederreiter's a veteran. He keeps his feet moving. This is where Fiala got his pocket picked by Marner. Good job by the captain, Roman Josi, to break that up, though. So power play time now for Switzerland. They are 1-for-1. Their lone goal in this one was on Anthony disrupted Kukon and wanted to let it fly. There's a pass in front. Kurashev setting up Suter, looking for his second. And it's Kukon at the line. Played it back across. Riyad didn't see it. And now hopping over the boards is Roman Josi. And that's poked away by Horvat. One change made as Hagel gets to the bench. Long change second period. Fiala around. Meier. Niederreiter in front. Couldn't convert. And out it comes for Marner. fired in on Schmid. Timo Meier starts back. Late stages of the power play. Yossi dispatches it in. There's Drew Doughty. Far side race for it. Stone. Fiala got there first. Now Doughty around.
Two here.
Onto the box. And Theodore missed the pass.
Boy,
it would have been a 2-on-1.
Too worried about getting off. He had a clean break.
Now McKinnon. Here's Thomas Harley. His goal, the difference now. Into the corner, Stone looks for it. Moser, a spin out for McKinnon. Moser ahead. Niederreiter inside the line. Escher on that far side. Taken away, and here's McKinnon up there with McDavid after the penalty kill. And a pass for McDavid in front. And that bounced off a stick. McDavid's got it back again. Looking to center. That bounced back in the corner again. Scores! Macklin Celebrini's got his second. And Team Canada restores a 2-goal lead.
It's after the penalty kill. John Cooper puts McKinnon out with Celebrini and McDavid. Loading up for a push post-kill. And David tries to find a couple people, eventually turns over, and the quick hands from McKinnon to knock it down and then pop it out to Celebrini, who's so good at finding space and releasing the puck. Niederreiter too deep, Andrighetto too deep, and a short side finish from Celebrini. 2 games, 2 goals for the teenager.
And that's really loading up when you can put 3 of the top 4 scorers in the NHL out together on the same line. 28 goals in the regular season for the amazing sophomore Celebrini, and now 2 in the Olympic Games. Nathan McKinnon will get the lone assist. Here comes Sam Bennett. Unable to beat Siegenthaler. Shot by Doughty on. Doughty reloads, fires again. That knocked out in front. Kurashev ahead. Turkov, his pass. Good play by Bennett to intercept. Doughty back in his own zone. Venture Doughty. Up off Reinhardt down the ice. Team Canada changing 5 minutes into the second period. 3-1 Team Canada. Just the 1 assist to McKinnon. Wasn't sure if McDavid was going to figure in on his 6th point.
That would have been a friendly second assist.
Yeah. Back in the old days, he might have got
worse, but not here.
Flipped in by Theodore. Yossi skates away from him. Up ahead, Andrighetto. Again, without his regular sidekick. So Suter, Niederreiter, Andrighetto, the reshaped second line for Switzerland. Parayko over the line along with Marner. Marner sends it weak to the side of the net. Crosby looking to recover. Sidney Crosby, a couple of assists in this tournament already. It's Harley. And it's Sanheim going to the net, trying to roll it through. And a penalty coming up.
Stone got clipped up high with a high stick. And they're checking him for damages.
So a goal by Celebrini after a successful penalty kill. And now that power play gets to go back to work.
It's going to be Michael Fora.
Team Switzerland, player number 45, minor penalty for high sticking.
Trying to get underneath the stick of Mark Stone, gets up into his face. So the power play, which struck quickly, was back to work after Macklin Celebrini restored the 2-goal advantage. There's the touch by Niederreiter of the initial McDavid pass, but McKinnon jumps all over it. And 3 guys who haven't been on the ice that much together in practice even, Chris, look pretty comfortable at 5-on-5 during the game.
youngest NHLer in this tournament. There were concerns about taking guys too young, but that one's been thrown out the window. Face-off win. Cale Makar. Nathan McKinnon down low. They were looking for Makar. Reinhardt couldn't get it to him. And it will be fired down the ice by Birchie. Race for this, and Thompson.
There you go,
Lonely comes to play it. And that sends McDavid away. Centering pass broken up, and McDavid bounced into the boards. Makar midpoint. McKinnon downhill. McKinnon off the glove of Schmid. And the Swiss clear. Here's McDavid with another chance, and he missed the mark there. Makar wraps it around. Crosby's going to get there first. Looking for McDavid in the corner. He knocked down his man. Siegenthaler back to him. McDavid trying to lead the tournament in points and hits and shoots. And a rebound comes out front, and Schmid's away. Trying to play it past Makar, and Makar recovers. Now Suter along the boards. Reinhardt steps into that. Cale Makar looking up ice. Just over a half minute remaining in the power play. Crosby knocked down by Yossi. And here comes Nico Hischier, short-handed. And Thompson with the stop. It's a flyby there by Hischier, and Thompson had to avoid the collision. Mark Stone, late stages of the power play with Marner and Horvat. Suter doesn't clear. Celebrini kept it in. And now it's out to center where Marner regroups. And that play offside. Stone hadn't cleared the zone, and the penalty over. So Team Canada celebrating a third goal. This one from the kid, Macklin Celebrini.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Underneath it all, it's not just about getting back up. The hours spent chasing seconds, or the achievements that paved your path. It's about what helped you leave your mark. For 20 years, Intact Insurance has stood behind speed skating Canada, and now we're partnering with Team Canada to champion all the Olympians of tomorrow.
Macklin Celebrini is an Olympian at 19, not because his father, Rick, worked with professional athletes, not because he got to hang around the Golden State Warriors, but because he put in the work necessary to be great. Kevin mentioned working on tip drills with Joe Thornton in San Jose. You saw him there in development camp after he was drafted. Who could be thinking back then he would be in this spot 19 months later when the moment came yesterday, a tip in front? He was ready for it. There may be no greater equalizer of proper preparation than the Olympic stage, and another goal to follow up here tonight, Chris.
And part of that preparation, a World Championship appearance last year with some time with Sidney Crosby.
And I think that plays a big role in him being so comfortable this year. He's around McKinnon, Crosby, got their stamp of approval.
Eagle off the boards, went to the attack. Puck comes back to Theodore. Harley. Hagel, Suzuki. Wilson parked in front there. So Suzuki takes a turn at center with Wilson and Hagel. There's a different look.
That's in relation to McKinnon taking Wilson's spot on the first line with Celebrini and McDavid.
There's Rhea at the backhand that doesn't get to the net. Hagel up ahead. Harley, the man furthest up, trying to lead the rush, and he'll send it in and get to the bench. Out comes Horvat, trying to get to it. Hagel was dumped by Yossi. Makar steps up, play it toward the net. Sigenthaler there to collect it.
Look out.
Up ahead. Oh! Sam Bennett had Heischer lined up.
Yeah.
And back the other way. Here comes Seth Jarvis. Something came on. Somebody threw something on the ice. There's a few things on the ice here. And I think we would have had a full-scale Donnybrook if it was the NHL on that Bennett run at Heischer. Stolen here. Over the line, Andrighetto, and Yossi steps up. Here's Roman Yossi centering it. Andrighetto a chance, and Logan Thompson has that.
Timo Meier trying to draw a penalty, thinking the refs are ripe with a quick whistle after the non-call on Heischer. Now, there should be no call on Meier, but there probably should have been one on Heischer. Bennett came off the bench, was going to line him up, and the stick right across the helmet, visor, chin. And that was a miss. And that
referee's conferring.
And that resulted in beers flying down, including one clipping me, CC. I got a beer in the head.
Is it? I saw some bottles flying.
That's a first.
You all right down there?
That's okay. A little beer never hurt anybody.
They did want you to wear a helmet.
Sign the waiver.
Well, it is heating up. Stone knocks down a pass at center. Tried to spring Marner. That doesn't work. Suter sends it in off Niederreiter. Didn't think there'd be hostility from Swiss fans, but it's heating up. Almost had a line brawl between Sweden and Finland earlier today. Here's Crosby. Marner. Crosby behind the net. That's cut off by Kukon. The captain got it back momentarily, but now Niederreiter out at center. Tried to one-hand it, but unable to get it past Harley. McDavid checks in. He might be loose. He's downhill to the net. And down is Schmidt to make the stop on McDavid. So past the midway mark of the second period, Canada up by 2.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players with our mouth-watering menu of popular and exclusive games.
I'll have the Mo Mummy.
BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
We've come a long, long way together.
Our gear, our games.
Right now, Canadians are going for it. Some of us are going to work. Some of us are going for gold. And some of us are going to lose their mind if Lou doesn't put her boots on. We're families. We're champions. And we gotta eat. Like right now. Whatever we call ourselves, Maple Leaf nourishes Canadians with natural ingredients and complete protein. So let's go for it, Canada. But first, protein.
Well, since his days in junior, Sidney Crosby had been using the same iTech branded neck guard when suiting up in international events where the equipment is mandatory. As recently as the World Championships last year, he had it on. iTech was phased out back in 2009, but he is sporting a different one for the first time here in Milan. Now, apparently, he started this week with one that had the bib attachment. That looks even a different one from that, so the adjustment continues anytime Crosby changes any piece of his equipment. It is noteworthy, Chris.
It is also a lot more of a safeguard than the one David Pastrnak was wearing earlier today.
You can see the brown shoulder pad looks pretty weathered as well. Nothing new about that piece of gear. But if it's working for him, and it has for 20 years, why would you ever change? Including his very straight blade.
So we mentioned the Swiss down Dennis Mulligan, and Glauser, the defenseman, has not returned since the McDavid hit. That one knocked away by Turcoff. Harley dropping it off, ahead for McKinnon. Fired up to McDavid. Over the line it goes on the backhand. Harley, and Schmidt took a peek over his shoulder, but has it.
You heard Elliott talk about Thomas Harley in the first intermission. He has been, when you're down here at ice level, you see all the just simple plays, the puck movement, joining the rush, recognizing where's McDavid, clear the lane, fill the lane, just all very fundamental stuff, but just 60 minutes of good decisions and puck plays. At this pace is impressive.
You know, we were in Dallas just before Christmas, and people around Dallas who obviously big fans of his said, you know, he might not be chosen. He's not been the same guy so far this year, but he certainly looks like the same guy and even better now. As they didn't make any changes on the back line. Here's a fan shot by Turcoff. And back the other way comes Team Canada. Hagel on the right wing. He got knocked down by Siegenthaler.
And it looks like the McKinnon to the wing is something that John Cooper's going to stick with for a little bit.
I'm trying to get 29 going. And a pass for Wilson on the right wing. Tied up. So it's a McDavid Draisaitl kind of thing, huh?
With Celebrini as the other guy?
It's pretty
good.
All
right.
Swiss almost, well, maybe not. I saw one of the Swiss jump into the bench, but only 4 skaters out.
And John Cooper was pretty pragmatic about the lines, and we've all dissected them to death. And he knew that it would be unlikely that they would finish the way they started. In fact, they haven't finished even 1 game or 2 the way that they started. But the good news is they have so many centermen that they can be versatile with who plays where, and so many great players that there's really no bad combinations.
Well, he mentioned prior to the tournament, the way they started at 4 Nations was not the way they finished. Crosby behind the net. Stone has it. Fires it back. Parayko, glove stop. Akira Schmid.
Sidney Crosby's been so good at pulling pucks off the wall. And it's a real art form. The pucks are coming around the boards, hard to get it off the dasher under possession. He does it nicely, then finds Parayko, put it in on Schmid. Another offensive zone faceoff, so a chance to get David McKinnon. Also with a lefty-righty 2 centermen, you can have a strong side guy every draw, as McKinnon will take this one.
270 combined NHL points this year on this line. And a big shot by Parayko. Celebrini was ducking as the puck tried to cycle it to McDavid. Celebrini working along the boards and able to keep it alive in front of the net. And McDavid was watched there and actually dumped on the play by Christian Marty.
The referees are letting a lot of guys get away with a lot of stuff, both ways. Extra reaches, early hits, interferences, tugs, and McDavid had a step on Marty, and it looked like he sort of pushed down the back of the pants. Mr. McKinnon fell awkwardly to the boards. And McKinnon is so hard on himself, he would think he probably is not doing enough, but he's got 3 points in 2 games.
Crosby won that cleanly. Fired around and Crosby looks for it. Marner gets on the puck. And he have to back off as it's sent down into Team Canada territory. There's Dowdy back to get it, and a collision there. Crashing in was Fiala. Michael Forrest shot. Goes high, laid down by Suter. Fiala behind the net. Suter with a shot. That ricochets to the far side. Stone swings it out to Crosby. Up ahead, Marner. Rowdy jumping, but not able to catch up to it, so he just swats it in. Canada changing under 6.5 to go as Reinhart and Bennett check in. Along with Horvat, here's Turcotte. Trying to twist and turn, shot it wide. An outlet here, Reinhart can't reach it the first time. Turcotte in front, and a pad stop by Thompson. Bennett up with the puck. At center, Kurashev intercepts. Here's Kurashev now with San Jose, where he's a plus player after being a huge minus in his seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks. Minus 126 there. Plus 3 in San Jose. Bennett takes a bump, gets it inside the line. Siegenthaler. Kukan off the boards, and Theodore pounces on that. Back around, Theodore able to seal the wall, and that actually bounces up and over after that collision with Christoph Berchi. So the Team Canada contingent likes what they've seen so far tonight.
Tylenol Complete relieves cold, cough, and flu symptoms like a pro. It's like having NHL superstar Nathan McKinnon assisting you through your cold symptoms. Tylenol Complete relieves your worst cold, cough, and flu symptoms. Get relief like a pro.
When everything and everyone work together, scale becomes strength. That is the power of Canada's best bank, backing you and your ideas with over 150 years of proven performance. Bring your ideas to us and let us put the full power of RBC to work.
Quarterfinal action, women's hockey tomorrow. Kenzie and Cheryl will have it for you. Canada against Germany at 10:40 Eastern. And also coming up in our second intermission, we'll have the panel, but also Ilya Molina, the Quad God, will be on CBC during the second intermission. 5:21 away. Nick Suzuki at center, wins a face-off. Flanked by Hagel and Wilson. I guess they figured there was enough hitting with McDavid on that top line. Spread out the physicality. Timo Meier has to go back to get it. Shots at 22-15 in favor of Team Canada. Bumped ahead to Hagel. Rink wide it goes Wilson. Offside called. Yossi hit Wilson at the echo of the whistle, and that'll draw a crowd.
You can almost see Wilson not wanting to escalate into his reputation. In a different league, in a different moment, that would have gone differently after the whistle. And he sort of had a reaction, said, I don't like it, but I'm going to skate away and make sure not to take any penalties. So there's the bump after the whistle and the finish. And he's thinking, I want to, and I'm not going to.
Skate away, but filed away. And here's this new line. McDavid 96 points. McKinnon 93 points. Celebrini 81 points. And an elbowing call coming up. And now that big line will have a man advantage. As Niederreiter gets the gate.
Swiss minor penalty, 22. Elbowing.
Travis Sanheim working the jaw out on the bench as Niederreiter picks up the elbowing penalty. That's an elbow. But when you let so much stuff go for so long, whoever gets caught first is never going to be happy. Pia Suter's got to come off. He's got a bad skate, so their preferred penalty killer won't start the kill.
He's not a bad replacement at the time.
Yep.
Being
a real opportunity here, though, for Canada on the power play. If they get one more right here, stretch it out to 3.
1 for 2 so far. Crosby, Reinhardt, McKinnon, McDavid, and Makar. Here's McKinnon, McDavid. Makar shooting, and he just missed. Roman Josi around, and McDavid's there. Crosby from the corner. Here's McDavid. Crosby's moved up top. Makar takes a look. Back to McDavid. Crosby to the side of the net. Down low. There's that back pass. They tried what was the first goal of the Four Nations on a sensational power play setup from Crosby. McDavid on it. In behind is Reinhardt. McKinnon off the half boards. Hands it back to McDavid. Crosby. Makar back to the captain. Cale Makar. And a glove stop by Schmid.
Saved by Schmid. A heavy shot from Cale Makar. But nobody in front on a screen. Everyone was working around the edges, so Schmid had a clean look at it. Yeah, leans on this one is apparently Nico Hischier was also watching the Four Nations, because that is exactly what happened on the first goal, except there was no forward back there to intercept the pass.
There's another face-off win. It's Theodore. That bumped into the slot. Back for Marner. Horvat in the bumper. There's Mark Stone chopping it back to Marner. Theodore. Celebrini. Right on.
Celebrini looking to shoot. Have a little conversation with Mark Stone as to, if I get that onto the pad, where are you going to be? A slow pass like that, a little too methodical to catch Schmid. He's there in plenty of time.
37 seconds remaining in the power play. Just over 3 minutes in the second period. Stone fires it across. Oh, short side.
That caught the post.
That looked like it was in from our angle, but he did ring it up. Celebrini had a little space there. Here comes Marner. Last foray. Marner in front, and Celebrini just missed tapping that home. Theodore. Marner. Off the stick of Celebrini. It doesn't get to Stone. Back on the ice is Niederreiter. But the pressure continues. Devon Taves sends that toward the net. And the Swiss fire it down. Niederreiter did get a stick on it, so no icing. Quickly to Makar. Up ahead it goes Suzuki. Siegenthaler. And Drew Doughty back in his own zone. Around for Hagel. Rolled that out to center. And Draghetto back to get it. 2 minutes left in the period. And it remains a 2-goal Team Canada lead. Escher's pass got disrupted. Wilson on it. Tom Wilson got it outside the line. Played right back in. Howdy. And Suzuki can't get it deep against Yossi. Here's Meyer in. Cross to the far side. Hugh Suter plays it around. Harley's pass cut by Suter, but now Hagel rink wide. There's Seth Jarvis. Sending that in as Team Canada changes. Bennett comes out. And now over the boards, Reinhardt. Sam Bennett. Jarvis. Reinhardt chasing after it on the far side. Theodore. Pareko. His shot. And a rebound backhand by Jarvis. Doesn't get to the net. So into the final minute now. Theodore up for Bennett. Cleared by Suter. 2-on-1. Kurashev. Riyad. And a glove stop by Logan Thompson.
That's a big save for Thompson. Bad turnover at the offensive blue line by Bennett. And the quick transition 2-on-1 for Switzerland. Almost found it. Here's the other chance for Celebrini. That is short side. There's something ring off the post. Kurashev jumps on this loose puck. He's going to go a little drag, and even with Thompson moving laterally, he's able to get his glove up by his ear. Huge save.
Top 10 in goals against average and save percentage so far this year. Logan Thompson, 7th and 8th, respectively, in those departments. 44.2 to go. McKinnon wins the faceoff. That big line loaded up. Back out for one more shift to the second. But the Swiss have the puck in Team Canada territory. Riyad beyond the net, centers, and Kurashev just missed. We're going to dust up behind the net. That's Makar Turkov finally unpiling as it comes free with 10 seconds to go. McDavid will just flip it in. And the clock likely draining here. And we're through 2. Shots 14-6 in favor of Canada. In the second period, Suter and Celebrini, the goal scorers. Teams in the panel coming up. Also, Ilya Malinin, the quad god on CBC. All of it in our second intermission.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
On the Dragon's Den 2-part special,
I think we've officially arrived.
the show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
And come full circle as guest dragons.
You are so inspiring.
If you work hard and dream big, you can make anything happen.
I thought I was going to get through this without crying.
Suspense is killing me.
I've never been so invested emotionally in a deal.
Dragon's Den Full Circle, new episode February 26th on CBC and CBC Gem.
Keeping an eye on this man right here, Ilya Malinin of the United States, is a reason why they call him the quad god. He lands a lot of them. How many will we see in his free program?
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
Little bit of breathing room in the second. The Canadians getting a goal, but the Swiss coming on hard in that second near the end. James, break it down.
Thank you, Andy. I'm alongside Kevin, who also calls himself the quad god because of his thighs. The three-time Olympic champion, Cassie Campbell-Pascal, the two-time Olympic champion, Cheryl Pounder, and the insider, Elliot Friedman. We, as in all of Canada, for the last year or so, have spent time thinking, who's going to play with McDavid in the Olympics? Who's going to play with McKinnon? And I don't think many of us pondered that the guy who would play with McDavid is McKinnon, and the guy who would play with McKinnon is McDavid. How did this happen, and do you like it?
Well, I love it, but I'm not going to say that the Team Canada coaching staff didn't think about it pre-tournament, but the way it happens tonight for me, it happens organically. I'm going to show you. This is the end of the first period. Tom Wilson has already been out there for 30 seconds. He's either tired or something's bugging him, so he's going to take himself off. John Cooper is going to see this whole thing happening. There's 57 seconds left in the period. He's going to look at his bench here when he sees Wilson take himself off, and he's going to say, oh, who's my next best player? Only 57 seconds left. Nate McKinnon, you're my next best player. Go onto the ice. Now, I mean, it's the three top scoring guys in the NHL all at the same time. That's how it started, Cass. And then from there, it was an excuse to put them out together after a penalty kill in the second, because none of them penalty kill. And then after that, the goal happened.
Yeah, and I'll let Pounds, you take the goal.
Well, you know, it's pretty impressive when you see someone like Macklin celebrate. Look at him pop to the spot, and that's what he's so good at, the quick hands. But you have to have the IQ to know how to get to those areas and think ahead. And Kev, you love the handedness. Well, a left-right combination that can have that kind of pace, unreal.
And how about this? Sidney Crosby, that new line had been formed, and John Cooper makes the change. He's in the offensive zone. He's playing with Pittsburgh. He expects to stay on the ice. No problem, just goes off the ice. The line change happens. For me, Celebrini, his job on that line is just to get open. He's done it marvelously so far through 2 games. And the only 5-on-5 line, if you think about it, that's really stayed together is the Crosby, Marner, and Stone line.
I think this is a great challenge for Canada. After that demolition against Czechia yesterday, the Swiss have played them hard physically. They've hit McDavid as much as he's hit them. Canada needed this.
Yeah, it was pretty outstanding. And I just have to add one thing here. You didn't know that my nickname was Quadzilla?
I didn't.
I didn't know either.
You're going red.
Logan Thompson, by the way, it was really hard out to Binnington, but he's been terrific so far. That's it for now. Third period ahead with Canada.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Centrum, a complete multivitamin scientifically formulated. The #1 doctor recommended multivitamin. You did it!
When you invest with RBC, your idea of tomorrow isn't so far away. When it comes to reaching your goals, performance matters. Now, get up to $10,000 in value when you invest with RBC.
This year at the Grand Prix final, Ilya Malinin landed 7 quads. There he is getting set for his free program. Already has a gold at these Olympics in the team event. He is searching for that individual glory. Leading after the short program, the Canadian Stephen Gogolev will have a top 10 finish at his Olympic debut as well. Everyone excited, anxiously awaiting the skate of that young man right there. Let's get to the booth. Brenda Irving will have the call alongside Carol Lane and 4-time world champion Kirk Brown.
Okay, our final skater in this men's competition. He is the quad god, Ilya Malinin, and heading to Milan, he was the heavy favorite for gold. And the 21-year-old, he's accomplished technical feats once thought impossible. He was the first skater to land 7 quads in a program, and will he do it now?
The voice you hear is his.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The lost is in the unknown.
He has a blank slate to write on now. What story will he tell on his journey?
Embrace the storm.
quad flip. If he does quad axel, the history-making jump, it will be here. He doesn't need it, but does he want it? No, he went for it and popped it. Gold is still his. He's still in control. Popping that into a double loop.
This is almost unbelievable. But it's the Olympics, and anything can happen.
You are something, but not nothing. Past is not a chain, but a thread. Pull it, and it may lead you home. Begin where light no longer reaches, where no path has yet been made.
Music change, mood change. It's time to put the nail into that Olympic gold medal. No!
Oh.
Quad, let's fall. You do not use the word fall and Malinan in the same sentence. And this, the Olympic Games, you can hear the crowd going for him. Everybody confused. Ilya, you gotta focus. Quad toe. Skating with caution, you could see it, timing different, no attack, and a single or a double Salchow. Will he be charged with another fall? Throw out the script. Confusion sets in.
Oh, wow. This man has not lost a competition since November of 2023. We have never seen a performance like this from Ilya. Look at that disappointment on his face. But we have to remember the leader at the moment, Mikhail Shidorov. He was behind Ilya by 16 points after the short program. So the gold is still within reach.
I'm speechless.
He is being punished in more ways than one. He will get charged with a repeat.
Yep.
On of all things, a quad Lutz. A double Salchow late. A double Salchow. How, when you're trying a quad, do you do a double? You have all this extra power that was supposed to go into rotation, and you can't put it into rotation, so it flies out, and he tripped, he stumbles, he incurs a second fall. started par for the course. He loves his quad flip. It's the first jump of his program always. And you have to say to yourself, the wind is blowing this way towards the gold, right? Everything's going to work. But the quad axle, the thing that has put him on the map, it could be the thing that takes him off the top of the podium. He singles it. He didn't need it. He didn't need 3 of these quads he attempted. But of course, he wants to go for legend.
Then your mind starts spinning.
Oh, God, yes.
His normal tempo was completely gone. He was going into that last thing, and it was like, I've never seen him take that back 3 turns so slowly. Not with speed across the ice, but just like the tempo of it. It wasn't him.
He had no rhythm in the skate today. It was like everything that's ever worked for him completely deserted him.
Yep, right when he needed it. I'm shaking. If he loses, disaster. If he wins, it won't be the one he wanted. Mikhail sitting there, confused too.
Oh, my. The heavy favorite to win Olympic gold. Will finish in 8th place. And this man, oh my, he can't believe it. Mikhail Chatrooms of Kazakhstan takes the gold medal. And would you imagine that I'd be saying that a week ago?
I'm reading Ilya's lips. You deserve it. He said no, and he goes, no, you deserve it. You went out there today, you made something possibly happen. You created a situation where maybe is in existence. The word maybe exists, and maybe happened.
Kagiyama finished with another silver medal at these games, and his teammate Shun Sato with the bronze medal. And Steven Gogolev of Canada finishes at his first Olympic Games in 5th place ahead of Ilya Malinin.
Wow. Figure skating always manages to bring the drama. Not the first time that's happened to an American man. You remember the pressure going into the 2018 games for Nathan Chen. He finished 17th after the short, bombed back in the free to finish first, but was 5th overall. Opposite for Ilya Malinin, heartbreak. for that young man. Third period coming up next.
Okay, gang, big win tonight. Yeah! With 4 video calls to her son during the game, 35 hours of watching Team Canada, some during work hours, 1 post that said Go Canada with a rock and roll emoji, and 3 highlight reels shared on her Mamacita's group chat. Our first star of the game, Maria.
I'd like to thank my family and especially my network.
Trust Bell 5G to connect you to Team Canada.
Remember, it's pizza, then French fries. Pizza and French fries. That's it, you got this. Love you, kiddo.
Here she comes up next. Representing Canada is Laurent Saint-Germain.
Together is golden. McCain.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by McCain. Together is golden.
Delivery of the game presented by Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered. John Cooper was ready for the question shortly after touching down here in Italy about the goaltending. He made a passionate defense of all 3 guys, not just Jordan Binnington. Logan Thompson, well aware of the discourse that's been out there. Maybe not under as much scrutiny going in as a guy like Binnington, but as he said, he knew all the talk about that the weakest part of Canada was the goaltending. He got the nod tonight. He has delivered through 2 periods here, only had to make 15 saves, but he in part why Canada takes a 2-goal lead into the third against the Swiss, Chris.
I think he might have borrowed one of Jordan Binnington's quote prior to the tournament, said that he was excited to prove everybody wrong. And he has been good. Shots 27-16 for Team Canada. Ice time interesting through 40 minutes. Roman Josi topped in the game 17-14. Makar 16-56. Mark Stone, the top forward for Team Canada, 12-47. Connor McDavid 10-16. And Jonas Siegenthaler played over 10.5 minutes alone in the second period with Andres Glauser out, and we remind you that Dennis Mulligan left the game in the first. And it is McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini on the ice. Swiss fans trying to prompt their team here in the third. Out of that scrum, Kukan across. There's the busy Siegenthaler, sending it wide. Around for Niederreiter. Back into the corner it goes Suter, the goal scorer for Switzerland. Canada with 6 different players with 3 shots apiece. Celebrini's one of them as he charges down, and Siegenthaler gets back in a hurry. Just plays it back to the Team Canada line. Celebrini sends it in. Schmidt to stop that, 90 seconds into the third. Theodore knocks down that puck. Reinhardt takes a spill and bounce back towards Logan Thompson. Set Jarvis on the scene. Parayko to the near side. Theodore. That went off Riyad and it bounced out when it looked like it might be a dangerous puck. Theodore for Parayko. Bennett chops it out. On the move is Jarvis. Here's Seth Jarvis in. And Schmid with the stop. What a burst from Jarvis.
I think both Swiss defenders surprised at the pace that Jarvis turned the corner with. And they're both thinking, oh, we got this under control. You got him, I got him. Neither one of them, Bertie's not catching him. Marty lets him go. And Schmid makes a nice save as Jarvis trying to slip that 1-5 hole. Here's Schmid.
Jarvis 6 shifts, 4 minutes, 12 seconds through the first 2 periods.
That kind of speed's going to get him back out there a bit more often.
Face off won by Suzuki. There's Taves trying to get it to the net. Blocked by Yossi. Dumped out by Berchi. And there's Makar. Wilson redirects that towards Hagel, knocked off his stick. And Schmidt's pass intercepted by Makar. Hagel dumps it in. Wilson gets a piece of Yossi. That theme might continue here in the third.
I mean, be careful when you make that hit. Yossi wants you to try to hit him. He'll spin off and then beat you back up the ice. Be mindful not to overcommit down deep if you're knowing that the Swiss defenders will release and try to join.
You're saying he's got to finish that check like McDavid.
If you're going to knock him down, knock him over.
Crosby on the draw. That one's won by Yeager. Fourth line shift for, well, they changed. Get a different matchup with Yossi sending it in. Heischer on the ice. Heischer to the net. Trying to jam it short side. Mark Stone there. Up ahead. And Crosby take that pass from behind him. Play it in. Get it to Marner. Tried to swing away from Fiala. Back to Crosby. And here's Doughty shooting, and that blocked. Nico Heischer, who's been a Selke Trophy finalist, able to block the shooting lane on Doughty. Marner taps it to Crosby. 2-on-2, and Crosby fires it right on. Siegenthaler. Marner leans on him. Theodore ahead. Trying to bust in as McKinnon played it back, and that got by Sandheim. McDavid. Here's McDavid cutting in, and that one knocked away from the front of the net. McKinnon, Sandheim played the ricochet and was looking for McDavid, and Siegenthaler was there defensively. Right back in. Here's McKinnon trying to shift gears on Bora.
Back check.
Runs over his man, and here is Celebrini dropping it off. It's Taves, and he missed. Stick side. Back the other way, and Suter playing it across, looking for Kurashev. Riyad out there on.
With a shot. That was blocked by Theodore. Suter.
With that chin strap hanging. Doughty for Harley. Tom Wilson had it skipped by him, but Horvat's on the move. And Draghetto back. Kukan ahead. Suter, and there's Andrighetto flying in. Shot blocked by Theodore. Suter trying to get it back. Checked by Hagel. Brandon Hagel redlining in. Schmidt can't knock that down. There's Michael Bora. Tom Wilson gets on that. Tied up by Niederreiter. Suter's out. Jumping is Bora with Niederreiter. And Niederreiter off the bar. Niederreiter across, and Bora stopped, and we've got a pile up. Wilson knocked out in the goal crease by Niederreiter. Wilson without a helmet would like to get at Niederreiter, but has to get off. A wild sequence there. And Tom Wilson in the midst of it.
Wilson not happy after that scrum where Nino Ryder dislodged his helmet. We just talked about not getting beat up the ice. And certainly getting a couple of good opportunities. Nice skates by Mark Stone to take it away from Nico Hischier. Take a hit to make a play on the boards. You hear it since you're 6 years old. Celebrini doing just that.
So the Swiss not going quietly into the night. Here is Stone. Crosby sends that in behind the net, looking for Marner. Devon Taves. The centering pass. Ricochets back to Taves. Now Stone cycles it into the corner for Crosby. Taves fires it across. McCarr. Marner. Down low, scores. What a beautiful pass. And Sidney Crosby with the finish.
Oh, that's pretty to watch. That is world-class puck movement from all involved. Ending up with Sidney Crosby. Poking it home, mom and dad approve. And the slap pass from Taves to McCarr was nice, but then Marner releases, and I had a perfect angle of he's looking for Crosby right through the wickets of Roman Josi onto the tape of Sidney Crosby. Here's the look. That is threading the needle. Mark Stone occupying Moser. And just like that, 4-1.
That's the 6th Olympic goal for Sidney Crosby. It's a 4-1 Team Canada lead. 7:28 here in the third. Marner with a beautiful primary, and here comes McDavid. Connor McDavid stops up, and that shot whipped wide by Sanheim. McCarr also draws an assist on the goal. As Canada establishes a 4-1 lead. Sanheim up, Celebrini tried to get it to McKinnon on the move. Off the bench, that deflects onto a Swiss stick. Jaeger tracking Harley back. Here's Seth Jarvis out again. After that last dash that created a Team Canada scoring chance. Thomas Harley missed Bennett with that, and Jarvis could have beat out the icing. Good hustle. And that gets by Reinhart, kept in by Theodore. Bennett sidesteps a hit. Looking for Jarvis. Along the boards, Jarvis tries to tie up his man. It does come out. Birchie there, bumped by Reinhart. Sticks around your ear, Mike, but you survived to fight another battle.
You're not supposed to grab them, but, you know, self-preservation kicks in every now and then.
Here's Hagel, sending it across. Wilson was at the back door, but tied up. A pass for Wilson. Suzuki can't work his way in, and it's flipped back into Team Canada territory. Approaching the mark of the third. It's a big goal by Sidney Crosby to create a little bit more cushion. Puck kept in at the line momentarily, and now Suzuki makes sure it gets out. Moser back, and now Wilson will retreat to complete the chain. Crosby's back out there with Marner. And Stone fired in on Thompson. Here's a shot that Thompson had to be sharp on. And he covers up. So a 4-1 lead as Crosby gets the stick on a beautiful feed from Marner.
What would you do if I sang
Livestream. Her particular skill set can be helpful to us.
She's a con artist.
Instead of using your talents for crime, you'll be playing on our team.
I'm a cop.
You're not a cop. You have a badge?
Not yet.
A gun?
Soon.
Not ever.
I need to get off that boat and back to being a full-time detective, and you need to stay out of prison. The best way we do that is to keep our heads down and do as we're told.
90,000.
90,000.
The foreman will cover it, right?
No, they won't.
Wild Cards. Stream now on CBC and CBC Gem.
Incredible atmosphere in here tonight. Adam Crespi of Ottawa, who's shooting me across the way here. I don't know how tight you can get in here, Adam, but was just busy trading pins with Anna Jean of Ottawa there. So the Canadian spirit is alive and well here in Italy, and just under 10 minutes away from Canada, potentially trading in another regulation.
If it's going to be a collaboration as this goes on for at least the next few games.
And this has been a good test for Canada. Team with this kind of pace, different kind of team. Now, a bit of a miscommunication, a little shove. Turkoff's been a physical player in this game.
Former Kelowna Rocket, played for Don Hay, a couple of seasons there. Goaltender at that time was Connor Ingram. At the line, Heacher works down. Roll towards Thompson. Sends it to McDavid. He'll shovel it away. Celebrini trying to catch up, and Moser gets back in a hurry. Celebrini knocks down Moser. Penalty pending. Swiss are going to get a power play. As the 19-year-old is sent to the penalty box.
It wasn't on the initial hit. As Celebrini was falling, he got his stick laid out into Moser's feet. So that's all fine there, but here is where the trip occurs. It's one you were going to call. Kevin Fiala had already called it on the ice. And so Switzerland, who's got their only goal in the night on the power play, trail by 3, almost have to get one here.
Heacher on the draw. Niederreiter's out there. Fiala. Yossi and Meyer. But Team Canada controls the draw, and Brandon Hagel turns them back. So Horvat and Hagel, Makar and Taves. Here's Heacher. Working in through to Fiala. It's a long-time Swiss combination internationally. Heacher and Fiala. Meyer to Heacher. Back to Meyer. Roman Yossi. And Thompson the stop. Rebound. Thompson the stop. Another save off Meyer. 3 in a row for Logan Thompson. Back in comes Yossi. That's skipped on Meyer. It's a break. It's Mark Stone in alone. And the save made by Schmid. Now fed ahead, and Heacher back in. Heacher pinched off along the boards by Harley. Marner crashing in to work the puck loose. And Doughty will flip it away. 45 seconds remaining in the power play for Switzerland. Marner got down first. He avoids a big hit along the end boards from Meyer. Here's Riyad working in. And Riyad a power play goal in the opener against France. The centering pass for Kurashev. Andrighetto gets it back. An assist on the Swiss goal. Kurashev for Andrighetto. Kukan up top. Kukan, Andrighetto stepped into that, and that's blocked by Sanheim. Andrighetto once again. Kukan shooting that wide. And the penalty done. Celebrini back on the ice. That fired around, and ricochets back into Swiss ice with Celebrini in pursuit of the puck. He knocked it loose, and McDavid to the net, a backhand, a rebound, and Nathan McKinnon scores. Number 5 for Canada.
Guess this line might be staying together for a minute. And this is just offensive players with great habits. Celebrini out of the penalty box, and McKinnon and McDavid out of the player's box, exploding on the ice. Celebrini causes the turnover with his pursuit. McDavid, this drag inside Siegenthaler, takes everyone with them. And then Nathan McKinnon able to clean up. But that is a dirty pull from Connor McDavid. And Nathan McKinnon tucks the rebound home.
Boy, that's great hustle by Celebrini to make it, well, get it started anyway.
But if McDavid and McKinnon don't explode out of the box as well, there's no one there to support Celebrini when he turns it over.
I think John Cooper's found something, Mike.
I mean, it's the best laid plans, right? Who would have thought Nathan McKinnon would be on the wing with Connor McDavid, but John Cooper not bound by any sort of preconceived plan. He will adapt to what is happening in front of him. And no egos about who needs to play where or with who. Just whatever's going to work.
It's worked before. You just send out 97 and 29. And both have 3 points in the game. McDavid 6 points, the most in a team's first 2 games of the Olympics. Nathan McKinnon with goals in back-to-back games.
Will you marry me?
I love you.
If you remember these two, it may be time to start using Neutrogena Retinol Regenerating Cream. It can reverse 7 years of visible aging. Great skin. Oh, to be young.
Be the one thing that can change everything. Be bold. Be authentic. In a world where you can be anything. Be love. Be love. Be love. Be love. Pandora.
We play. Jumpstart helps families overcome financial barriers to sport and play. 100% of donations support kids in local communities.
Nathan McKinnon is legendary for his intensity. And he had this quote earlier which kind of stood out. I'm not here to enjoy myself. I'm here to win a gold. In reference to seeing other events and meeting other athletes. And what's enjoyable to him? Playing hard, playing well, being productive, and winning. That's where his focus is at, not on the entire experience of staying in the athletes' village. And maybe now with Connor McDavid in the middle, Malcolm Celebrini on the other wing, he is actually enjoying himself in this game. And why wouldn't you? I mean, those three have come together in the last 2 periods.
Accomplish what you come here to do, and you can enjoy it for the rest of your life. And both McDavid and McKinnon, as John Cooper has described, laser focused. Both with 3 points in the game. McDavid up to 6 in the tournament. 5-1 on 35 shots against 24 for Switzerland. 5-0 against Czechia. And on their way to a 12th consecutive Olympic tournament win involving NHL players. Fiala. That's +9.
With the game against France still to come.
People will be tracking.
And that might be the most impressive thing. Not just the 2 wins, but these are 2 very good teams they played against. Switzerland is a legitimate medal contender in this tournament.
As we mentioned, they left to the break. Whoa, look out. That puck deflecting off Fiala and screaming into the Team Canada bench. We'll take a timeout under 5.5 to go Canadian fans loving this.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
Get them just how you like.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
From green to extra ripe.
Use the app to control your bananas.
What a time to be alive.
I can go believe what a time to be alive.
Sweet, get it.
Good. Can we? No. I'm not good. No, we go again.
In the pursuit of excellence, you never get comfortable. You are never satisfied with the status quo. You push yourself every day to be better, to continuously raise the bar and hold yourself to a higher standard. Because standards shape outcomes.
Have yourself the Team Canada Hockey Weekend quarterfinal action on the women's side tomorrow. There are the start times as Team Canada plays Germany, and then on Sunday, wrap up Group A action, Canada against France, where goal differential will be probably the only thing on the mind of John Cooper. He'll get a chance, perhaps, Mike, to get a little bit more ice time for some of the guys that haven't had a regular turn yet.
I think it'll just be the challenge to play the same way.
Okay. Not like he's overtaxed anybody yet.
Trust me, every one of these players would like to play 6 more minutes. That's what they're used to.
And as Nate McKinnon said, you just got to make the most of the time you get. He's done that tonight. Marner's in. Centering pass for Crosby, just out of his reach. Niederreiter ahead. And it's Roman Josi breaking out to the backhand that just missed. Niederreiter behind the net. It comes to Suter. Hit the back of the net and Andrighetto. Josi. Puck stopped and Marner with the alley-oop. Pretty good backspin on that one. McDavid back out. They have any other magic for us in the final 4.5. He's got the puck. Riyad takes him to the boards. McKinnon feeds back. Here comes the shot. Off Schmid. McDavid battles for the rebound. Back to the line to Theodore. Sanheim works his way in deeper. Taken off his stick by Kurashev. Turkov. And now the Swiss regroup as Team Canada changes. Under 4 left. Just listening to the quiet here, because it's been loud. Especially first period and prior to the game, the Swiss fans have been silenced here by another near-perfect performance. Hagel on the forecheck comes up with the puck. Brandon Hagel with Suzuki and Wilson. Will this line stay together for the next game against France?
You'd think Brad Marchand will be back in the lineup, though, right? If he's just getting a break, more so than injury. Did Kevin Fiala just hurt his knee? He just went writhing in pain.
In trouble.
Oh no!
I hate to see that.
Him and Tom Wilson got tangled up, and Wilson fell onto his legs, and he was.
And they're calling for the athletic therapist.
According to his left knee, and he's asking for the stretcher. Oh no!
And this is one of the fears when you allow NHL players to come here.
Pieces.
And you never want to see anything happen to the opposition.
On his lower left leg. Just an awkward collision. No malice whatsoever.
And you can see the emotion from Timo Meier, but you can see it in the faces of the Team Canada players too.
Yeah.
And everybody rising to their feet.
Team Canada guys want to go over and check in on when he's on his way off the ice. The whole bench is going to clear for Team Canada.
Well, that's an impressive gesture, both teams coming out. And when Kevin Fiala's on his game, he is an exciting player to watch. And this is very disappointing to watch. A world champion MVP in 24. And sadly, his Olympics are over.
It's almost a good thing there's only a couple minutes left in this game.
I was just thinking 2:50 left.
I don't think either team is too interested in playing anymore.
We'll play straight time from here on out.
The result of this game decided. Just want to get this one over with. And Tom Wilson was involved, but it's got nothing to do with Tom Wilson.
No.
He just got tangled up.
So we'll play it out here. Jarvis deflects that up into the Swiss bench. But it's been a terrible game for the Swiss in the injury department. They've lost Glauser, Molgan. We don't know the severity of those injuries, but we can be pretty certain about the severity of Kevin Fiala's. Centering pass for Bennett, and a backhand right on. Bennett on it again, and that whip wide as Jarvis let it go. So Jarvis has given them something to think about. Another chance for 24. Parayko back to Bennett. Centered off the stick of Jarvis and out.
For guys like Jarvis Mike, all you can control is your next shift. And
he's had some good ones in the third period.
Final 2 minutes. Reinhardt taken down, got that into the corner. Suzuki for Hagel. A hit on Reinhardt, who takes Wilson's spot here.
Smartly. John Cooper aware. Well, he's going to do anything to Tom Wilson, but just don't give anyone a reason to do anything.
It's a centering pass. It ends up on Turkoff's stick. That hit a leg and ends up in the corner. Moser put it in front. Hagel starts back. And Suzuki turns back. Likely his final shift of the night. 70 seconds to go. Well, the injury has tempered the enthusiasm, but it has been a very thorough Team Canada performance. Horvat cut off by Yossi. Centered and Bennett shot right on with traffic in front. Jarvis is on the doorstep. Shots now 38-25. Jarvis across to Bennett. Team Canada's going to win Group A. They're 2-0. They've won 12 consecutive games as they post a 5-1 win over the Swiss, backstopped by Logan Thompson, who makes 24 stops in the victory. Another outstanding performance. Connor McDavid pacing the team with a goal and 2 assists, 3 points for him. 1, 2, 3 for McKinnon. And 2 points for Macklin Celebrini. Is there a new top line on Team Canada? 5-1 the final. Let's join James Duthie.
Chris, thank you. Kevin Bieksa, Cassie Campbell, Pascal, Cheryl Pounder, Elliot Friedman alongside as always. Yes, 12 years of waiting and they have not disappointed so far. 2 wins, 10 goals for, 1 against. This one maybe not perfetto as you described the game against Czechia. There was a couple of glitches here and there, but a really impressive performance against a really good Swiss team. What have you liked so far? What still needs work?
I still think you can just see right here with Sid, like the Kevin Fiala injury is what's on everybody's mind right now. The last 2 minutes of the game didn't really matter for anyone. Just when you see injuries like that in hockey, there's that mutual respect between the players, between the athletes, and you know it's a serious injury. You can tell by the reaction of Fiala. You can tell by the stretcher coming out right away. You can tell by both teams emptying the bench. That's kind of the cloud that's over this game right now, but for Canada, another game where they had a great start, and then they dealt with a little bit of adversity, guys, and they overcame it this time, right, Cass?
Yeah, without question. And you think of Connor McDavid, now he has 6 points in the 2 games played, and he decided to come over early. After Edmonton played their last game, it was a Wednesday night, he came over Thursday on his own on a commercial flight just to get that extra advantage, and boy, has it paid off here early.
Yeah, he was simply electric in this game, but how about the line change, elevating Nathan McKinnon? And the 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini continued to be impressed with his game. I mean, whether it's a maturity defensively, where he is in his defensive zone, his awareness, or being F1 or on the forecheck, just really disrupting play. And then, of course, on his goal, just popping to the pocket. You have to be able to have an awareness, and to be able to scan, to be able to play with those guys. Absolutely incredible.
Kevin, I'm with you. I think it was a good challenge for Canada. They really coasted through Czechia the other day. Switzerland really physically came at them hard. They were physical with them. I think they needed that. I think I saw Hischier sort of tap Tom Wilson there, kind of letting him know we know that wasn't on purpose, and I kind of like that because it didn't look like it was on purpose at all, but you guys are right. Like, that was tough to watch. The air got sucked out of the building in the last 2 minutes by the injury.
The one thing, looking just at Wilson interact there with Logan Thompson, that was big. Logan Thompson, legitimately, you have confidence after watching the way he played. You know, James, you and I were talking about this. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty comfortable. He made some big saves early. If Binnington doesn't work out, that's a great option to have.
Well, I thought when Binnington had that performance, I think we all sort of sat here and said, well, it's over right now, at least in the short term. He's going to be the guy in the quarterfinals. But, man, Thompson sure made a case tonight.
It's Binnington.
I know.
You know, like, just watching this at the bench, I'm really fascinated by this. Like, you guys all play. Normally in the room, the coach would talk to the players, right? Like, it looks to me like this is taking place of that. This is Cooper's postgame.
It's going to take so long for these players to get through the mix zone that it's important for John Cooper just to address the team quickly as he would in a normal dressing room situation, because they're going to sit here and wait for the Swiss to go through and then go through themselves before they get to the room.
Cooper said it after the last game. First, he was giving them instructions what to do, and then he said, well, I might as well take care of it now because these guys are going to want to get through all their interviews and shower and get out of here.
Well, yeah, and just galvanizing the group together when you have them all together, and that's critical. But also, there's an inspiring undertone to it when you see it, when you turn around where we are in this vantage point that we have, and you see John Cooper, who's very active behind the bench, talking to the entire group, a group of stars, trying to galvanize them and continue to push through this game.
I've seen timeouts at the end of the game with the goalie pulled where the players were less attentive as they are right there. It's actually pretty impressive to see the respect that John Cooper commands from the players. Everybody is dialed in listening to every word he says. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Sorry. Was somebody talking?
And, of course, thinking about Kevin Fiala, massive blow for the Swiss team, a really good Swiss team, and also to the Los Angeles Kings in the middle of a playoff race here. So for Canada, here's what this means. They've already won the group. It's wrapped up with this victory tonight. So the next goal is getting that top seed. The 12 teams will be seeded after this round, and, of course, that should mean easier matchups in the quarterfinal. And if you get to a gold medal game, last change. It'll likely come down to goal differential with another undefeated team. If Canada beats France, like, say, the Americans, so that's still to be determined over the last couple of days of group play. But a really impressive start for Canada here after 12 years of waiting, Andy, 2-0 here at the Olympic Games.
Well, there you have it. Canada putting on another clinic at the Winter Olympics as we welcome you here into Sports Center. It's Sarah Davis with you. And Canada playing a second day in a row, starting Logan Thompson after Jordan Binnington picked up the shutout over Czechia yesterday. A game in which we saw Josh Morrissey leave, and he was out for this one against Switzerland, along with Brad Marchand, who was getting some rest, while Seth Jarvis got his first of a taste.
The opener for McKinnon. Back to McCarr. McDavid's on the right flank, and it's a McKinnon shot kicked away. Puck played to the line, but kept alive by Reinhart. Reinhart goes to the bumper spot, rink wide, McDavid scores! Power play goal, Connor McDavid. Canada strikes first.
Pick it up right where he left off game one. Shooting mentality, had so many attempts in game one against Czechia. And this one, when Nathan McKinnon throws it over to him, he might be thinking Crosby backdoor, but elects to take it one handle and then catch Schmid, who reached initially with his glove to make a glove save. And then as he's trying to find the post, he goes, bounces off his hip and in. And it's not great movement from Akira Schmid. And Connor McDavid's got Canada off and running.
McKinnon. Here's Thomas Harley. His goal, the difference now. Into the corner, Stone looks for it. Moser, a spin out for McKinnon. Moser ahead. Niederreiter inside the line. Heischer on that far side. Taken away, and here's McKinnon up there with McDavid after the penalty kill. And a pass for McDavid in front. And that bounced off a stick. McDavid's got it back again. Looking to center. That bounced back in the corner. Jen scores! Macklin Celebrini's got his second. And Team Canada restores a 2-goal lead.
It's after the penalty kill. John Cooper puts McKinnon out with Celebrini and McDavid. Loading up for a push post-kill. And David tries to find a couple people, eventually turns over, and the quick hands from McKinnon to knock it down and then pop it out to Celebrini, who's so good at finding space and releasing the puck. Niederreiter too deep, and Draghetto too deep, and a short side finish of Celebrini. 2 games, 2 goals for the teenager.
Wilson. That doesn't include the one that the team thought he'd registered early on. The Richter scale bumped by Connor McDavid, who's off and running here with Wilson on the right side. Back to McDavid. Calling for it is Harley. Scores! The team in time on ice last night and puts them ahead 2-0 here tonight.
The breakout and the pace up the ice from everybody on Canada causing problems. Harley, see the 2 Swiss back checkers behind him. What a nice touch by Tom Wilson to get the puck to who? Who else? Connor McDavid, who then throws one over softly for Harley to skate into, settles it, and puts it right through Schmid. For Canada's second goal of the game, another point for Connor McDavid, and a 2-0 lead for Canada.
Riyad out on the ice now. He scored in the first game against France. Kukan and Draghetto in front of the net. And Kurashev unable to get that back door. And Draghetto again. Had a 4-goal game at the World Championship a couple of years ago against Germany. That one off the post scores. Power play goal, and the Swiss are on the board. So Pius Suter strikes on the power play.
He draws it by taking the stick up high on a face-off, and then he's there to clean up the mess as Andrighetto fires one in that Logan Thompson can't contain. And it goes off the cuff, and then the bar, and then Suter right there to get it as it falls to the ice to sweep it home. Huge goal for Switzerland, who haven't really been in this first period, but it's just now a 1-goal deficit.